Happy Halloween! Welcome to Film Five's Friends. I'm Stephen Kepfer.
I am Paul Verace.
And this is our special Halloween episode, which is so much fun.
And it just happens to be a very Halloween-y type movie.
Which is why we're dropping it on Halloween.
Yeah.
So today we have Hank Bedford, the co-writer and director of Eugene the Marine, the new movie with Scott Glenn, Jim Gaffigan, Jeremy Bobb, Annette O'Toole. It's just an amazing cast. And it is a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie in the classic sense.
Let's not forget it was coordinated by Stephen Kepfer.
Yes, my first feature as the key stunt coordinator, which was amazing. You know, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the Martini shot after this for our paid Patreon members. But yeah, it was my first time, so that was really cool too.
This was a great interview.
Yeah.
This is probably going to go up there with one of my favorites.
Yeah, man. It was like Hank is very he's a film nerd. But he's also, like, it's so funny because he loves Tarantino. And Tarantino is so fucking manic when he talks about movies.
Yes, he is not.
Hank is the opposite.
Absolutely.
He's very slow and deliberate and thoughtful and calculated in his discussion of movies and references and movie history. It was really, really cool to kind of get a peek inside of his brain because honestly, even working with him, we didn't really have these kinds of discussions. It was really more just nuts and bolts, let's get the job done kind of discussions. So it was really cool to sit and talk with him today.
So were you were only on set for
basically the last part of the movie, so we can't really talk too much about it. We don't want to give much away, but most of the stunty stuff and the fights and the knife fighting and the all that stuff happens in the last third of the movie, I would say.
So also this being kind of your first feature that you were involved in, something where you got to really read the whole script.
Yeah.
And then you were involved in what you were involved in, and then you had to wait, and then you saw it.
Yeah. And there were stunty things that were cut. Like there was some hot to the mark car stuff, like little bits of things, some falls and stuff, some gun work that was taken out. But what remains is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you think that that's what it was going to look like, or were you just just not have an idea?
Dude, I love it. I mean, we've talked about this before. You're on set with something, you don't know what's inside the director's head.
Right.
Like we talked about it with Devs, like the fight scene on Devs. Like when you see the final cut, like, oh, that's what he was thinking. So like I had no vision of how this movie would look. I mean, I read the script and I thought it was much more of a family drama than it was a horror movie, honestly.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was obviously the horror elements to it, but it really is at its core a story about a family. It's about the grandfather getting old, the son not wanting to deal with that. There's the loss of the mother, Eugene's wife and the granddaughter. And it's really this whole family dynamic.
There's also that bitter resentment between father and son that's there as well.
And so it really it doesn't fall, I think, cleanly into any one genre, So I really can't wait for people to see this. It's great.
It was great. I was so happy I saw it. When you're watching a movie and you don't want to miss a second of it, you know it's good.
Yeah, totally.
So what else we got coming up?
Dude, we have our winter open workout coming up, and that's actually coming up pretty soon on December 20th.
That's right. We are doing a whole slew of things that day.
Yeah.
Slew of things that day.
Yeah, starting at 11, right? We're doing an open workout, and then till 4:00. So if you want to come by, work out, get your jiu-jitsu on, get your judo on, get your sambo on, get your striking on, hit the mitts, get some wrestling, practice some stuff.
A little sparring maybe.
Yeah, depending on, I'll spar with you. But that's going from 11 to 4. It's open to anybody. So come on by. The event pages are in our show notes.
Yep.
So
and
you
then
can get all the information there.
After that, from 4 to 6, we're just hanging out for a little while, talking, chilling.
Do a little meet and greet, social, hang out, have a drink.
Have a couple drinks or two.
And then at 6:00, we're going to show a movie.
Movie night.
We haven't announced what movie it will be.
I'm not sure.
But it will be a good one.
Yeah.
For sure. We're still waiting on some listeners to send us their thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some ideas.
Definitely.
We'll see where it goes. So anyway, check the show notes and all the information about coming to hang out with us. It doesn't cost a dime, but I will say that the Patreon supporters of ours that show up will get a special gift that nobody else will get.
That's right.
So
as always,
we have some cool giveaways for any.
We always
Patreon.
like to have cool giveaways for our Patreon members.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, Patreon folks.
Thanks
so
much,
if you are not supporting us on Patreon and you love this show and you love our movie screenings and live events and all that kind of stuff, and you want to help make it happen, you want to be part of the community, please consider supporting us on Patreon.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps, believe it or not. We do use the money for the show.
yeah. And now you get all these new perks that we're introducing, like the martini shot and the cutting room floor segments. Those are for Patreon members only.
Yes, and especially when we get to our next episode, there's going to be some fun stuff in it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. But anyway, anything else we should say besides thank you to our sponsor?
Our sponsor, thank you. Oh, Breakfall Studios. Let's thank us.
Oh yeah, we can thank ourselves. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Steve.
Anytime, dude.
Thank you for sponsoring us.
But if you're watching this and you see our studio behind us all the time, just know that it's available to rent. If you need to do workshops, auditions, trainings, previs shoots, whatever, we're here in New York City, Midtown, right near all the hotels. If your actor is staying in Midtown, but your soundstage is all the way out in Shittsville, Brooklyn, and you want to train with them closer to the hotel, we are a perfect choice.
Very true.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's bring on Hank, man. I can't wait.
Before we bring on Hank.
Oh, we got more?
Yeah. Stunt Contact, dude.
Son of a bitch. I love Stunt Contact. How do I forget that?
Contact.
Oh, my God. If we had the breakaway bottle, I would deserve it over the head for that one. Stunt Contact, we love you. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's Halloween. He's already thinking about the candy.
I had whiskey in my coffee.
Well, so did I.
Oh, no excuse.
You spiked my coffee.
I did spike your coffee. I love how I'm already pouring it in your coffee, asking you if you want it in there.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, you're like, do you want some? You want me to make this an Irish coffee? And then I look over and the little Jameson bottle is empty already. Oh my God! Wow. But yes, what the fuck were we saying? Stunt Contact. We love you.
I forgot Stunt Contact.
I literally sent out about 10 emails in the last week or so based on what was listed on Stunt Contact.
I mean, they're the best. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know what was going on. And again, the most important thing, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm a little disorganized. I know what emails I sent to who because of Stunt Contact.
Mm-hmm.
That is key for me because otherwise, it would just be like, dude, this kid's cracked.
Yeah, for sure.
He sent me an email yesterday.
Dude, there was a follower commented on our YouTube, Stephen Bodie. We know you, Bodie.
Hey.
Wolf Boy NYC. Commented on our throwback, our remake roundtable, that how could we discuss King Kong and not bring up the 1977 World Trade Center King Kong? And, we didn't even bring it up.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I loved that one growing up.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Oh, shit.
Too many Kongs.
Good call, Bodie. There's a lot of Kong movies, though.
Too many Kongs.
I'm sure that's not the only one we forgot about.
Well, I don't dig most of the new ones and, whatever.
They're fun.
They're okay.
It's a fun movie. And they're more like kaiju movies now.
Yeah, they are kaiju movies.
Than anything else. But
it's interesting that the Japanese culture, they appropriated Kong because Kong was not in the kaiju lexicon before King Kong.
He just fought a big gorilla in Kong fought a
T-Rex.
A T-Rex, and then it kind of just blossomed from that. And I think that they just went crazy with it.
Yeah.
But I think that it's more of just kaiju movies. It's not really. Anyway. Godzilla -1 was the best.
No, that was awesome. That was one of the best reboots ever. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen that, folks, go see it.
Absolutely.
It's freaking awesome.
All right.
So on that note, let's just say, please follow us, like us, subscribe everywhere we are. Film Fights Friends Pod, on TikTok, Instagram, you name it. We're everywhere. YouTube. Just give us a like, give us a subscribe, and please do review us. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening on Apple, we've had thousands of downloads on Apple, thousands. And we only have 5 reviews and 17 ratings. Now, thank you for all 17 of you that rated us 5 stars, because we have a perfect.
We have a lot of comments, but about 50% of them are from Frankie Bay.
Frankie, we love you, buddy. He still comments all the time. I love that. He comments everywhere on TikTok also.
Oh, dude, he and I are like friends on Facebook now.
Yeah, so man. But please give us a review. Also on IMDb, please review us. It really helps with the algorithms. Mm-hmm. On Apple, it helps put us in front of people's eyes. It helps us get recommended. On IMDb, it helps us with Amazon Music, because, of course, Amazon owns IMDb. Anyway, with that said, I think it's time to bring on Hank and talk about Eugene the Marine.
Here we go.
Hank, man, so glad to get you on the show, dude. I haven't seen you since 2023 when Eugene the Marine wrapped. So it was really cool to see your face, man.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, as we said in the interview, your film just premiered a few weeks ago at the Oldenburg International Film Festival to rave reviews, standing ovations. I mean, that's got to feel pretty freaking amazing.
It was really fun. It was like we had, it was in Germany, obviously. So having subtitles and the cultural differences and that kind of thing was, you never know what's going to translate, but it was awesome. It was a massive success. People got all the jokes, and
that's good. That's
the
really
jump
cool.
scares landed, and it was fun. It was really fun.
Was that the first time you were in the presence with the audience while it was being screened?
Yeah, it's the first time more than about 10 people have seen it. That I've
so at the end, when the movie was finished and you got the reception that you did, what was that like? Like, what did you feel about the process, and then just a little bit of moving forwards?
It was very validating that the things worked that I thought would work. It's I know you guys have both seen the movie, right? It's a unique movie. I think it's different. It's a blend of several different genres.
Oh yeah.
From films that I loved growing up.
At the end of the movie, I sent this text to immediately. The 3 lines went through my head, and you're probably was just, "You're so cool, you're so cool, you're so cool." Those were the 3 lines that went through my head at the end of that movie when that music came up and that cut. It was just
and the fact that you mentioned Tony Scott as an inspiration,
it's the thing about Tony Scott, and the thing about a lot of the kind of references and homages that we're making to other films, John Hughes, Tony Scott, and then obviously the Giallo stuff. But those guys both, I think John Hughes and Tony Scott both, they have like an earnestness about them. Tony Scott, like the music, the editing, the performances, they're all very like wearing their heart on their sleeve, and they're just very earnest. Same with John Hughes, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that surprises people, that exists in this movie. The characters are real, but they're also like, they mean what they say, and they're not kind of afraid to be who they are. And I think that adds something really like special to the film. But there's definitely Tony Scott in there. There's a scene where Charlie Ferguson is outside of the party with Shioli. And that scene very specifically is like a true romance reference to the comic book scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and this is Halloween, by the way. Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
And it's great to be talking about sort of a genre-bending horror movie on Halloween. But because it's Halloween, last night I went back and watched a Tony Scott movie. You know which one? The Hunger. I went back and watched The Hunger last night. But I saw, like, you're talking about homages, like so many, and we don't want to spoil your movie for listeners, but so many of the, for example, the dream sequences that Eugene was having, the series, like these series of images, completely I saw like watching The Hunger, and I hadn't seen The Hunger since like in probably like 20 years or something, but it was amazing.
Yeah. That movie, for sure. It definitely has like an 80s kind of Eugene the Marine. Do people will they kind of know what the film is about? Should we
Oh
give them a
yeah.
synopsis?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we can talk about, we don't, in the intro we didn't give away too much because we don't know when it's released.
So we're trying,
we're trying to not
keep
spoil your movie for you.
Yeah.
We definitely, we can give you can give the general take of what you would like people to know about the movie now.
Yeah. I mean, I describe it as a horror film with heart. There's an aging ex-Marine who his wife has died, and he's kind of navigating the world in his beautiful old longtime home, and his son wants him to move out of the house for a variety of reasons, because he feels like he's unsafe alone in the house, because they kind of want to move on and not be responsible for him any longer, and that kind of thing. So
Played by Jeremy
he's
Bobb, by the way, just for listeners.
played by Jeremy Bobb.
Yeah.
And the lead character, played by Scott Glenn, does not want to leave, and he's kind of cantankerous, and he's resisting everybody trying to get him out of his house. So that's it. And he starts kind of acting out. I always described it as like an inverse of Risky Business, which is another homage and another movie that I love. He starts hanging out with kids. He starts, 20-year-old kids that he meets around town. He starts smoking weed and throwing parties and embracing technology and kind of, I don't know, like having a late life crisis. So all that's going on, and bodies start piling up.
Well, one of the
And
things that
that's it.
I thought was interesting before you move on just about that was a lot of times when you have a character that Scott Glenn is playing, they are a asshole to everyone around them. It was really, I love the way that you wrote his character, that he was very methodical in everything he said and how he treated every person, including his son.
And his own life is very methodical.
So that was very, very enjoyable to actually watch him try to interact, try to be nice to this different world. How he was really trying to embrace it, as in, I would say 99% of other times that character is written, they're not embracing it. They're not trying to, and that's where the humor comes in.
And
I do
love
think it's
that you
funny.
wrote it this way.
And the real,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do
real
think it's funny.
tenderness.
I also think it's like more true to life. People they're, they have different levels, and they kind of handle different people in different scenarios in a variety of ways. And, they surprise you occasionally. They're just not one dimensional. And Scott crushed it, as did all of the actors, which I also think honestly surprises people for a movie that's, a genre and a film that is defined as horror, to see people kind of, to see actors really get into like the details and the nuance of their characters, and also just play them with such heart. The actors deserve a ton of credit, because it adds something different, that you don't often see in the genre.
Well, I also like the way, I feel the way you shot it, and then the way that the music was also cut with it was, again, very John Carpenter like.
Yeah, for sure.
The way you shot close-ups, but then also when you were shooting wides,
lots of slow,
slow wides, emphasis of the shadows and the mysteriousness of the neighborhood, and just kind of letting all of of that really speak for what's happening in the scene.
And people should know that this was shot on film on Super 16 millimeter. Mm-hmm. So it was legit, not just a throwback in style, but in how you shot it too.
Yeah. All of those things are absolutely spot on. The other thing I would say about shooting on film is it again demonstrated how much everybody cared. You're spending more money for less takes, and you're putting it, you're literally recording these actors on something tactile and not on a hard drive, and that all has its place. But I really wanted to, especially with an old actor like this and with this, with film, I don't think it's going to be possible to shoot on Super 16 in the near future. I really don't. So to be able to do it in a way that felt like it honored the genre, the era, it has a very 70s feel. And like you said, the John Carpenter of it all. I also would say, like, there's a quote that Tarantino said at some point where he's like, if you love films enough, you can't help but make a good movie. And this film, whether you like it or not, it's born from that idea. It's so much of it is about loving film and loving movies and honoring them, and so I think that comes through, and I think that's kind of speaks to what you're talking about. Like, because John Carpenter is an artist, and cares about those things so much, like you're saying, the framing, there's a lot of slow kind of zooms in this film that I would say are kind of Altman-esque, but a thing that I always reminded myself of is, like, there's plenty of movies that all look the same and sound the same and cost the same and feature the same actors and feature the same types of characters on Netflix, and we just don't want to be that. We want to, whenever there's a fork in the road, we want to go the other way.
Well, I feel like, at least, maybe I'm going a little nerdy here, but after I was done, I immediately started thinking of, like, Fellini's 8.5. I started, especially just the opening black and white frame scene in the beginning. It's immediately where my brain went, and it's not easy to show as many parallels with all of these other directors as you did in one movie. It's pretty amazing.
Well, I don't claim. I don't even know. I don't want to say that it is, in the same class or not claim.
I understand. You're not putting yourself up there with them, but they definitely were influences. I mean,
and I'm not. I don't even want to, like, not put myself up there with them, but speak to that. It's not about that for me. It's like this information. I was, let's say, an 8-year-old kid wandering around video stores for 3 hours at a time, seriously. So, like, this passion and love was just reading the backs of boxes on video cassettes, VHS tapes, just enamored, completely in love, obsessed. And so it's just coming out, If I tried to make something more surface, and it would be impossible.
it's interesting.
The passion is just it's there,
Yeah, I mean, were you like a Kim's Video guy? Like, were you watching, like, the Argento, like, old Italian horror movies and stuff like that as when you were
Well,
younger?
I mean, that's what I think, like, is apparent is I was watching everything.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was definitely watching Risky Business. I was definitely watching, 16 Candles,
Sure.
I feel like there was also a lot of the way it was edited and the frame shots. I thought about Natural Born Killers a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I love that movie. I
Yeah.
honestly love that movie as much. This is like not this is a controversial thing to say. That movie came out in 1994. I saw it as many times as I did Pulp Fiction, and I liked it then as much as Pulp Fiction, and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the photography and the like wild, zany storytelling, and Woody Harrelson's so fantastic, and I've worked with him, and he's just a great guy, and he's amazing in that role. His dad murdered a federal judge. Yeah, and Woody looks just like his dad. It's one of those strange stories, where Oliver Stone put him in that movie kind of because of that. And he has like a wild streak that you can see, Woody does, that totally tracks that he's the perfect person to play that role. And then there's the Tarantino of all of that, which is for sure in this movie.
A lot of the dream sequences reminded me a lot of the flashback scenes with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, for sure. I always love that stuff, and Dangerfield's great. And by the way, that's just the kind of casting I love, and Gaffigan being in this role. I never kind of thought about that directly, but him, that I like comedians in serious roles. I like Richard Pryor in Lost Highway, and I just think it's great.
If he was my real estate agent, I would get a new one immediately. He was so fucking irritating.
Yeah.
He did such a great job as the real estate agent.
Dude, I remember.
Yeah, Jim is. I feel like he's getting a little lost in the conversation because Scott's so great and everybody's so great, and it's either Scott's great or everybody's great. But Jim is phenomenal in the movie.
He's amazing. I remember on set that when shooting the scene, like where he's signing the contract and all that.
Yeah,
I remember like it was so hard to not laugh like with every take, and I remember just thinking like, which take is Hank gonna use, because they're all so amazing. I just felt like I was kind of watching this really cool. I don't want to make a parallel to like Robin Williams and stuff, but it was just like there was just so much improv coming out of Gaffigan that was so amazing and perfect. Like, how do you know which one? How do you know which one to use? It was just amazing to watch.
It was amazing to watch. He has like a real gift and a talent that I wasn't aware that he was that great on the fly. And then he also has like a depth and like anger, and like he has this like Phil Hoffman
when he was talking to the kid.
Yeah.
And you could see what was going on inside by the kid's answers.
Yeah.
That was very. I didn't realize that he was like that kind of an actor.
Yeah, no, he again, not to lofty comparisons, but like he has a Phil Hoffman thing.
I was thinking the same thing. Interesting.
He really does. He's way more nuanced than people give him credit for, but you're right. The improv is crazy. He did something different every time, and sometimes I would nudge him in a direction, and other times he would just fly off the handle. But he's amazing. He's a genius.
I don't think I've ever seen him quite like this in anything, honestly. It's really
just seeing him play just a straight part is there's God, it's
his
weird.
comedy
it is, but it's so not forced. It's so natural, but it's also
But his stand-up is kind of snarky, angry, like generally,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And so it's like when people see this movie, it's not like ha ha funny, but it's just that that sarcastic.
Yeah, he's very quick, but I would also say
He's so
like
oblivious. Also,
yeah. Well, I would also say though he's got this like the thing that he's exploiting in the movie that's really brilliant is like 10% insecurity, which I think is not in his stand-up. He's very like he can take the heat, I feel like, as a performer in his stand-up, but he's kind of like um underneath the surface being irritated in this role in a beautiful way.
I
It's
was
like
going to say the
it,
scene at the party. You can really see that.
yeah, he's like festering,
You know,
which is
when
awesome.
when um when I finished watching the movie and I saw that you dedicated the movie to your son, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what? And then it made me think of actually Gaffigan coaching basically coaching his son on set. It was like a
Yeah.
really awesome father-son moment.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, well, there's a lot of father and son,
Yeah, and then
in the
between
movie.
Jeremy Bobb and Scott Glenn, it's a
For
big father-son,
Mm-hmm.
like the sort of like the struggle between father-son. It's what's really funny is I'm talking about this, like you said, Hank, this is like real life stuff, like the role of the grandparent. Like I remember reading the script and just before anything when I first got the script, and it was so beautiful, like the relationship between Eugene and his granddaughter, and
Yeah.
sort of in how it skips over the parent kind of, and then like in my own life with my nieces, watching my mom's relationship with them, their grandmother. It's just so it was so real. It was so that tenderness was amazing in the movie.
Yeah. I again, I think the actors and also just encouraging them to take it seriously. I don't know. I watch a lot of things I don't think anybody is taking it seriously for better, not to say that this makes this better or more substantial. It's just I don't fucking think they're taking it seriously.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you can tell when someone. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but there's when someone just memorizes their lines, and then when someone knows the material.
Yeah.
All this whole cast, they knew the material.
They knew the material and they like took the time to be like to sit in it and be like, this is just like my relationship with my grandfather. And this is, Shioli, like, her grandfather had just died. She just, everybody cared and they like wanted it to be great.
Mm-hmm.
They
The
wanted it to be great.
the kid who played the barista was
Oh, he's fantastic.
he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So good.
amazing. This
I
is
wasn't
his
sure if we had his name here.
I don't
But
think I have
Yeah,
his name on it.
Charlie Ferguson is his name.
oh,
Um,
that's a famous person name.
yeah, he's never been in anything before.
He was great.
And we got like, just for context, like Gene starts going around town to a coffee shop, to a electronics store, and he just meets these young people and starts, he connects with them, likes them, and starts hanging out with them. And Charlie is he's a barista at a coffee shop. And, the thing that happened that was so strange is as far as casting goes, I would get these, we were just everything you're always like, we're gonna take our time, we're gonna be very thoughtful and have long look at 1,000 houses and 1,000 baristas and
Mhm.
take 6 months and cast them and rehearse and then 2 weeks before you're shooting, you don't have the barista and you're like somebody sends you a list of videos or something of auditions and you just have to pick them. It's really
Yeah.
awful. But
And this wrapped right before the SAG, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 days before the SAG-AFTRA strike, so there was, definitely a time clock happening.
Yeah, there was a time for sure. But the funny thing that happened is, like, Charlie, who plays the barista, Delaney, who plays the granddaughter, like, a lot of these actors, it was just there was 20 videos sent, and there was one person that it was like, "That's them." Like, Charlie, I was just like, "That's the character."
Yeah.
And then he really surprised me because he crushed the stuff that is on the page and on the surface, the character, but, um, in that scene I was talking about, the Tony Scott scene where he and Shioli kiss in front of the house outside of the party, I just on the day was kind of like, what this means and, like, is, and by the way, just here are some new lines, but inspired by the scene from Throw Mama from the Train, which I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, but
Love that movie.
DeVito, Billy Crystal.
so Danny DeVito is, like, bragging about his coin collection.
Crisscross.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he brings this coin collection out, and Billy Crystal is like, Danny DeVito is like, "Oh, this one is here's this quarter from 1988." And, the punchline keeps getting the nail keeps getting hit on the head of, like, "These coins aren't valuable." And Billy Crystal's like, "These coins suck." Like, these no, this is literally worth 25 cents. This quarter is worth 25 cents. And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. My dad gave me this, when, like, when I went and shined his shoes, and, then he died, and so, like, this quarter means a lot to me, and it's extremely valuable." And so, to Charlie, I just kinda wanted him to do this true romance thing where Clarence is talking about comic books and how much they mean to him, but be talking about movies. And that scene, it's like, maybe it could be considered a throwaway scene because, like, narratively, there's not too much, impact, but
Well, and
the fact that
actually,
he's talking about movies and he's talking
Mhm.
about Scream 4, and Scream 4 is the best one, and the fact that she thinks that's funny and sweet, and the reason, even though the movie sucks, that it's important is because he went and snuck into it with his mom, and that is, like, that's the movie. That's this movie. That's Eugene the Marine, and that's the heart and soul of the whole movie. And so, I kinda think it's beautiful that that scene both doesn't matter and matters completely.
well, also when they're sitting in the living room together and they're all playing Call of Duty,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that brings it all together.
Yeah, yeah.
So it kind of makes that necessary in a way, like that makes that scene so much more impactful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
just like, oh wow, he's really trying to embrace this. He listened.
Yeah, 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 for
He
sure.
got the Xbox. He
Well,
did.
he doesn't wanna be, yeah, yeah, Gene doesn't
So
wanna
to
be the
me,
character.
like you have to have that scene in order for the other scene to register so well.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know what you mean exactly between those 2 scenes connecting
Well,
because
there's a scene in that with the when he's talking to the barista,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And he starts talking about Call of Duty,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
right?
no, I get that, but I'm
And
talking
then,
about the scene with Charlie and Shioli on the front of the porch outside of the party. He's
oh,
talking about
sorry, I didn't realize we went into that. I thought we went back to the barista scene when they
Yeah,
were
no, no, but
talking.
you are right that, like, all of it is swirling in this, like, pop cultural,
Mhm.
kinda way of referencing movies, video games, um, technology, and he doesn't wanna be the kind of person any longer who I is like, "I'm not gonna try that," you know?
Mhm.
He says things in the movie kind of occasionally where he's like, I don't need a computer. All that's, up here. And he doesn't want to be that person anymore. He's changing, and he wants to dive into the deep end a little bit because, what does he have
Yeah.
to lose?
Let's dial it back a little bit. Like, so what was the inspiration? So you co-wrote this with Cesare, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Cesare Gagliardoni.
Yeah, and how did this come about? Like, where was the inspiration of this?
I really love Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I wanted to make something about an old guy. I think Marines are cool and funny and kind of Heartbreak Ridge and,
Right.
these other kind of things, and are is an interesting idea for a horror movie. And then I also wanted to make something where, like, the things that you're actually scared of, I feel like are never represented in horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, being forgotten, being overlooked, kind of
Cast aside. I mean, he
embarrassed,
yeah.
cast aside, just left, and the kind of person who's like, yeah, I remember this, and everyone's like, I don't care. Those things haunt you.
Yeah.
Those things haunt you in your, when you're going to bed, not like, I don't know, a
Please,
monster or
they haunt me every time I teach a class to a bunch of 20-somethings and I make a reference that they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
No, but seriously, like, that is, it is like in our DNA as human beings to kind of feel that way and to want to be respected and kind of treated. Anyway, so all of those things. So that's Gene Hackman, an aging, Marine, and things that you're actually scared of, and then just mixing it up, because I do think, like, Risky Business to me, I know I've mentioned it several times. I just think it's like it's so fun. It's really funny. It's sexy. It's kind of dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought
When
it would
I
be kind of cool. Yeah, go ahead.
when I was about, oh God, I don't know, 18, I would say I was in college, and there was I forgot whose wedding it was, but whatever, it was a wedding, and old time rock and roll came on, and my stepmother whispers in my ear, she goes, I'll put $300 cash in your hands right now if you go outside and slide in on your boxers. And I was in college, so I was like, 300 cash? I was like, done. So I literally went outside the wedding, took my pants off, and came in, slid inside in my boxer shorts, and played the air guitar. Made
That's
300
awesome.
bucks.
Yeah.
But that's such an iconic scene, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an iconic scene. I feel like it's such an iconic movie, and it's Paul Brickman. He made one other film. If anybody is interested in this kind of thing, audio commentaries. The audio commentary on the 25th anniversary of that movie is fantastic, and it's Paul Brickman and Tom Cruise, and it's like, and the producer, I don't know, it was a Steve Tisch or somebody like that, and it's super awkward. It's really informative, but, like, it has an alternate ending. Anyway, not to get too much into
No.
it, but like, they're kind of like, Tom Cruise is like, yeah, but it turned out pretty damn well, right? And he's like, no, no, I think it sucks. I think, it's like, it's really interesting because the movie was kind of taken away from him, and the end was, he had to shoot it a different way, and he's like, no, I kind of think it ruins the whole movie.
I mean, there is a part, right? And maybe you could speak to this, like, of when you're making a film, and I've never done a feature, but even just with shorts, there's a certain point where you just have to know it's not going to be perfect, and you have to let it go, that there are going to be things that you don't like about it or whatever, but it has to kind of just go out into the world. Like, you could be cursed, like, by fixing it forever and then nobody ever seeing it, I mean, are there parts of this film that you feel, if only,
Well, not what's on the screen, with what we shot, is I'm very happy with. Just meaning, like, the one thing I would say that's a little bit different, in my opinion, than what you said is it's more like I wouldn't say it's not perfect. It's just never what you think it's gonna be. It's
Mm-hmm.
not exactly what you think it's gonna be. It's not exactly what you had in mind. Um, we had incredible limitations with time and actors and disruptions
Mm-hmm.
and, like, honestly, just like a Sisyphean time getting the film made,
Oh,
over like a 5-year period. Part of me is like, under, kind of ideal circumstances where we weren't under so much pressure and there was more time and there was, time is a big one. I kind of think it could just be even more incredible. But with what we shot, we edited this movie, which is very unusual, for like about 18 months, which is a long, 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 long
can I
time.
just, as an interruption, just for my knowledge and maybe the listeners? I know you shot it on film. Did you edit it? Was it edited digitally or on film? Was the film edited old school?
You go like, so you shoot you shoot the film and you mail it off to
To Kodak?
Technicolor or Deluxe or Kodak or whatever, and they develop the film, and then they kind of send you these stills maybe 4 days later. We were mailing it in, and then they scan it, and you kind of decide the scan, but they scan every frame of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meaning you decide if it's a 2K scan, a 4K scan, and there's all a million different decisions in between, because a 4K scan on super 16 millimeter film might show too much grain and
Mm.
look kind of insane. So anyway, we did a 2K scan, and so then you get that file digitally, you edit
Mm.
it digitally.
Copy.
There is a version where you can blow it up. You can go back to film and cut the film and have a super 16 millimeter negative, to project. And that would be we've not done that. That would be awesome. By the way, like, I'm really, the direction we're moving with showing the film, is one that I'm pretty excited about, which would be exclusively in drive-in theaters.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That's what I wanna
It's a good
do.
drive-in theater movie.
It'd be really fun,
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
and, it'd be really fun, and then whatever happens after that happens, and I'd be excited about it, but it'd be cool to, like,
For
do something as bold,
Yeah.
with the film as I would argue the film is, to kinda match.
That would be awesome. I
Mhm.
mean,
It'd be fun, man.
I have so many memories going to drive-in.
Well, I need you guys. I mean, this is kinda the first time I'm, like, articulating this, like,
Sure.
yeah, let's take this as a challenge and a planting a flag that's what we're gonna do, and I'll need you and your listeners to suggest awesome drive-in theaters where we can,
Oh, for
play
sure.
it.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, as a kid, that my family had a house in Connecticut, and that was like one of the best things. Every summer, we would look forward to going to the drive-in there. I remember seeing Grease, the original,
So awesome.
in
It's
drive-in.
so awesome, it's so fun. Like,
Oh my god, yeah.
on the radio, you, like, turn it to, like, the station where the
Mhm.
Yep.
sound
It's
it's
so
so
cool. Yeah, and nowadays with the sound system in cars.
Or back in the day, yeah, you used to
Yeah.
put the thing inside your
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Hang
there's
it on
that
the
too,
window.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, there's a lot of drive-in theaters in movies that I often, like, think about, like From the Outsiders and you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and there's a lot of movies, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, no, I just think it would be, I think it would be, it's a good drive-in movie. I think the audience would be receptive. I also think that, you know, there's young people would like this movie, but also old people would like this movie, and they might go to drive-ins and love it. And so I just, anyway, I think it's a cool way to go.
100%. All right, let's make it happen. We're gonna
Yeah. No, seriously. Like, if somebody is like, "Oh, I know my friend, my aunt owns a," I mean, seriously, I want to take it around like a rolling roadshow type
a
of thing.
traveling
But
roadshow, man.
Cool.
Yeah, like a traveling roadshow, but to drive-ins.
I like that.
Can we get you with a top hat and a cane and a suit and stand up in front, you know, like we do Rocky Horror Picture Show style?
I'll do whatever. Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if it's, no, seriously. Like, I feel like those movies thrive at drive-ins, Rocky Horror and this kind of thing.
And so how's your?
I used to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show at
you did?
on 23rd Street.
Oh,
nice.
All the time growing up
at Chelsea Cineplex. It was,
how beautiful!
They had it every single Saturday. I used to go all the time.
Yep.
I used to sneak out of my house and go.
How beautiful is that opening song?
Oh my God!
The song is so touching. I mean, that song is, you know, because the movie Eugene the Marine, like, I always would kind of say there's the way like the Ramones and their kind of monster movie songs or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It has that same, like, those songs are good and they're kind of being funny, but they're also super sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that Rocky Horror song reminded me of it because it has the same thing. It's being kind of funny, but it's also like touching.
And Susan Sarandon. Ties right back to the hunger. But
yeah.
Totally. Dude, so there is so much in the film parallels with Scott Glenn's real Marine life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know you didn't originally write it for him, but at what point did he come on board? Because I know there were other casting options before that. And then how did it, because it kind of is, I don't want to say autobiographical, but it definitely, there's parallels to him as a person.
Yeah. Well, you know, Scott, so this is how it went, and Scott knows all this, so that's fine with me, just because it's the truth, and also it's, you know, it kind of shows your homework, I guess, a little bit. There was Gene Hackman that was, you know, never going to happen, but that was
right,
who was in our head. And then Harvey Keitel was interested in it, and you know, he was a Marine. And then that didn't work out, and Nick Nolte was going to do it, who I was very excited about, and met with him several times in Malibu at his house. And we kind of, like, you know, we did a lot of work. And I think Nick's amazing, and I think he's a great actor, and he would have been very interesting. But that didn't work out. I don't know. This whole movie has been, like I said before, I said Sisyphean, and it's really, really true. It's just been like we've gotten hit in the face with a shovel over and over and over and over.
There was
occasionally.
Sorry. I just want to say that there was a kind of a light that Scott Glenn brought to this film.
Yeah.
I feel Nick Nolte would have brought a little more darkness.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Nolte has, you know, he would have done something extremely interesting, for sure. And it would have been different, for sure. And I don't think it would have been as good. So Scott came along, and the reason I'm bringing up this whole thing of just Sisyphean, you know, going through all these actors, going through, you know, financing falling through, all these things. Occasionally what would happen is, you know, something would happen, like Scott would come on board, and it was like, oh, this isn't what we had in mind, but it's the best thing for the movie. And he, you know, he brought so much passion, but also knowledge. And, you know, we leaned into uh, his knowledge and his life. And, you know, his wife plays his, you know, dead wife in the film. Like it's all her pictures, it's all their real wedding pictures. And, you know, all of his, you know,
his knife fighting and his martial arts love and all that.
Exactly. His knife fighting, his martial arts stuff, his hearing aids, you know, it's just we tailored everything to him because he you know, he lived the life. And yeah, he's fantastic. You're right though. He brought like a kind of a positive, I don't know, like somebody described the film as kind of God, what's the right word? He feels hopeful, you know. Yeah, Nolte, you know, I mean, again, like I said, he kind of would have been awesome to like even in something like Tropic Thunder. He's kind of
he's amazing. But I was just thinking if that, you know, that Scott Glenn's part being played by, you know, I don't know what it is. I just know the sound it makes when it kills a man.
Totally. Dude. And Keitel, you know, that would have been a different thing too, you know.
But he had that energy, like even, you know, he would walk around set shadow boxing and just like I remember when we were down in the basement, like where the, you know, where the scene with him and Gaffigan, the Steadicam scene, and in between takes he's like rear naked choking the support beam of the house.
No, he's a character. I mean, he's just also just a total character. Also, you know, I mean, he was 85 when we shot the thing. We were shooting like, I mean, he was working 10-hour to 12-hour days. And you know, so he was crushing it. His endurance and his
oh my God, yeah. I mean, when you came over here to the studio with Cesare and we were and Steve Carl to work on the fight choreography.
Oh yeah, Steve Clare. Yeah.
Sorry, Claire. Sorry, Steve, if you're listening to this. So, well, first of all, it was great to actually work fight choreography with the actual director and writer, which is very rare. But doing all the stuff, working through that stuff, like there's no way that Nick Nolte was doing that. It would have been a whole different thing because
yeah. Well, that's the other thing. There's a million ways it wouldn't have worked. The physicality of Scott is unparalleled for that age of a man. His dedication to it when kind of the shit hit the fan. You know, the movie could have shut down on multiple occasions and it would have been easy to fold. And if the lead actor was out, then that's, you know, that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
So Scott stuck with it. Sorry.
In certain movies, there's certain things that happen, training montage scenes, the lead hitting the bag or something like that. And they're actually not proficient at it. And it kind of pulls you out of who the character is.
Yeah.
And I will just say, I think we noticed that when, as much as I loved the movie Day of the Fight, there was a scene when Michael Pitt was hitting the bag, and I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, totally. I know exactly what you say.
I could tell he trained. I could tell he put the effort in, but it wasn't polished enough to where I'm like, this guy was an ex-champion. This guy was this, like.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
But when Scott Glenn was using the knife, when he was shadow boxing, there was
even just the way he holds
a level of comfortability.
Totally.
In what he was doing, in his demeanor, in his eyes, in the mindset of the thought process of what he was doing.
Yeah.
As coaches, we can see that. And that was so great that you were just like, oh, this guy used to fuck people up.
I mean,
totally.
When I remember we were on set and he was telling me, you know, as soon as we're done here, when I go back to Idaho, I have to do my firearms qualification because he's still a sheriff's deputy there.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to go home and shoot. You know, I mean, this is like just an everyday part of his life. And that's why it's so real, because it is real.
Totally. That guy's, it's unbelievable. He skis all the time. He does martial arts training. He shoots machine guns.
Never stop. Never stop.
No, it's funny you say that. No, like the Tom Berenger and The Substitute. Do you remember that movie, The Substitute?
Yes.
There's some scenes where he is like doing a roundhouse kick, and it looks like he's never lifted his knee
Right?
above
Oh my
the
God.
waist.
He finishes it like the shrimp. His shoulder over his knee.
Dude, we talk about that we did an episode. We were talking about like our the episode was your favorite the great movies with bad action and bad movies with great action. And like we both made our picks without telling each other, and we both picked for a great movie with bad action.
Burt Reynolds movie.
Both Burt Reynolds movies. Because
Yeah,
every time Burt Reynolds throws a kick, we're like,
yeah.
what the hell? I mean, his hands are okay.
I feel like when he's done, he's going to come up with one of these.
Yeah. Well, then you have like Chuck Norris, who's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's like so believable because he's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, you ever want to see a great video with Chuck Norris? Watch the video of him and Benny Arcades holding the pads for him, and watch Benny Arcades like arm being in pain.
Wow. Yeah.
Holding the pads, like how hard Chuck Norris actually hits.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great video.
Yeah. Totally. Dude, we have 5 minutes left. So we have a mission is to get our listeners and everybody talking. We need to get a hashtag like we need to create a drive-in hashtag for this.
You guys know more than I do what to do, you know, as far as that goes. But I'm serious. I think it would be amazing. I think it would be special. I think it would be, you know, movies, independent films, like at this stage in the game, they're not left many options, and everybody is so exhausted, and it just ends up on like Amazon and I don't know what else.
It's just, you know, if you're not popular, they're not going to stick you up on somebody's screen.
Yeah. And then it just disappears, and a few people liked it, but this movie deserves to be seen by wider.
I also there's something else I need to ask you. So there was a shot when you saw the side of Scott Glenn's house, right, from the ground, and you mentioned how you used to love to go to video stores and look at the videos. There was one shot that reminded me of the cover of Psycho 2. Of the house in the background and the crazy Norman Bates kind of.
I love Psycho 2, by the way.
Well, dude,
well, I was going to say there was one shot that was literally the same shot as the house behind Norman Bates.
The low angle,
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And then when you were just like how much time you spent in videos, I was like, I wonder if you did that on purpose.
Yeah. That it's, you know, it's really interesting you say that, because I had a question in Oldenburg, and somebody asked me, I think they asked me about Amityville Horror, and then they said, was that house real? You know, the really interesting thing is the houses that you're seeing in the movie, you know, are 3 different houses, the interiors. And then, you know, not to give too much away, but the shot you're talking about is actually a still that is just beautifully.
It really is
treated. I can't tell you.
It stands out in my head.
Yeah. Well, and then the other funny thing is that there's a shot in the film of a drawing of the house, which is also a still, which was like treated, and Brian Mealy, the editor, is just a genius at this kind of thing, and then put into a frame that we shot. So anyway, no, it did not have anything to do with Psycho 2, but I would say that the fact that somebody else asked me that question, and the fact that you're asking me that question, and you know, I think it's much more of a general, like, I love movies. I love I you know,
but that's
that movie for sure exists in my psyche. You know, when I lived in LA, I like had a friend that was working at Universal, and we went and hung out at the
Psycho
House, which is just a marvel of like filmmaking. I don't know if you've been there, but the fact that, you know, that house is much, you know, the scope of it. I don't know if you know that, you know, that house is pretty small,
right?
But it's very close to the motel.
Right.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So they they just built this shell of a house that's very close. Oh, my son just got home.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. By the way, but your question about it being dedicated to him, like he was born right when we started shooting, and it was just a huge part of the kind of like playful, fun, challenging.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that goes into having a kid was right there in the movie too. And another parallel, like him being born, the movie being born, and also just how messy it is, but also beautiful.
Well, it was an amazing movie. I can't wait for people to see it. I'm certainly super proud to have been a small part of it, and really glad that you were able to come on the show, man.
Yeah. I'm so you guys. This has been really fun because I can tell you guys both get it, and Paul, like I've never met you before, but I really appreciate you. Like I can tell that you like it and get it, and
oh, thank you for sure.
This could have been a catastrophe, and due to my lack of investigating, but instead it was really, really great. I think you like it and get it, and I'm really glad, happy, and excited to talk to you about it. The other thing I'd say though, real quick, Steve, you said it deserves to be seen. I just think it deserves to be seen properly, like
in a drive-in.
No, like if 10 people saw it at a drive-in, I'd be more excited than 100 people or whatever. I'm making up.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I think this is a big screen movie. It's one of those movies where, like, I love watching The Clockwork Orange on a huge screen.
Yeah.
It is a different movie.
Totally.
When you watch it on a small screen.
Totally.
Sure. I almost feel like I don't get disturbed when it's on a big screen.
And just from a pure marketing perspective, I just love the idea of, if you want to see this, you have to go to a drive-in. It's good.
Exactly.
It kind of
if you
want a bit of exclusivity too.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've got to care enough to not turn it on for 10 minutes and fast forward through some shit. And
it's an investment.
Listen. Yeah, exactly. And there's economics involved, and I get all of that, and that's awesome. But I would argue, like you said, this is a story like that. If you want to see it, go to a drive-in, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But you can't, and also you said fast forward, and I just want to say you can't fast forward any part of this movie, because
totally.
it's just the way that it's shot and the way that it's framed, everything means something.
No,
it's any person who's a cinephile in any way, shape, or form is gonna miss something if they fast forward.
Yeah. Two, and I'll leave you with two quotes, and use them or don't. But they were kind of very important to the movie, and I said one of them at Oldenburg, which is the Herzog when he's making, when he's in the Amazon and he's, going through a lot of stuff, and the movie's falling apart and the actors are leaving, and he's like, if I abandon this project, I'll be a man without dreams. That's something I've revisited often during the making of the movie, and I do think that the making of the movie is even more valuable than the final product. And then John Cassavetes, because I don't know if you have any aspiring filmmakers that listen, or what your audience is made up of exactly, but I often read this quote. Cassavetes is like, somebody asked him what it takes to be a good director, or what he thinks makes a good director, and he said, be who you are, and the rest will take care of itself. Just be who you are. Don't be who you want to be. Don't be who you think you should be. Be who you are. And, I'm pretty at peace with this movie, because I do think my DNA and who I am and who we are collectively as a team is firmly imprinted on the film.
Clearly. 100%.
Absolutely.
Great way to end, man.
I loved it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakfall Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.